Hello, everyone, and welcome back to 4pixels. Coco and Kimi are here with our guest, Layfley and Buttons, and we are continuing the letter.
and sh-
Yay!
and shitting on Ashton for not knowing what cream of wheat is.
I mean, it could also be oatmeal, or it could just be like uh, rice porridge. I don't know. There's a specific word for it. I know that the Philippines does like sort of this rice and milk mixture a
I
lot.
don't know why I get the feeling that Chase will be burning. When watching this.
He probably knows it. I'm too white to know this. About as much Filipino food I've had is lumpia, and that's it. She tells me my tastes are weird, yet here she is handing me something equally as strange. In fact, she's already started digging in hers. I'm just not sure if the taste will be equally as appealing. Dude, if it smells good, it's gonna taste good. Fuck off.
Mm-hmm.
Baffled, I glance her way. She offers no immediate answer, simply continues eating as if she hasn't done so in a week, with her focus solely on the television. She's not watching, however, just listening. As background noise, the voices from it seem too cheerful, a welcome distraction if anything. It's only after she's finished off half the bowl does she acknowledge the question in my eyes. With a sigh, she cradles the dish on her lap and looks down at it. Briefly, her lips part, then close. Hesitation, though I don't push her. There's a distant air on her, as if she has remembered something that warrants a poignant thought. When she speaks at last, it's in a tone too careful, like she's still weighing her words, considering the proper phrasing for it. Yet, sincerity underlies each syllable once they're out in the open.
You should eat. Back at home, Mama would never let us leave the house if we hadn't eaten breakfast yet. Even Papa has gotten an earful when he tried. So eat. You'll need it.
Tell me what it is first, God!
Yeah, I wanna know.
She returns to her food afterwards, while I can only stare at the one she has proffered not a few minutes ago. Warm against my hands, tempting me to take a bite.
Just do it.
Not that I don't appreciate this, but what good will this do? Zach and Rebecca's both out there. Who knows when that ghost will show up again? Even in our dreams, we're not safe. But that's it, isn't it? We don't know when, and at present, we have a chance at respite. Maybe the only one we'll have. Even if it's as mundane as sharing food between us, quietly, just sitting side by side like this, without exchanging any words. The intent hangs unspoken in the air, something that probably goes as far back as the second she offered food. Still, in the end, Isabella never pushes it. Rather, she lets her own silence convey her hope. Whether I'll allow myself to take that break, she leaves up to me.
Eat it, you wuss.
Yep.
Eat it, you pansy. You never turn down free food.
Indeed.
Thank you.
Dang. The words roll off my tongue, awkward and unfamiliar, far removed from those jests and quips we've shared. Yet she accepts this with a smile and nothing more, regardless of everything left unsaid. The sight of it brings comfort. More so than any generous offer of food can give. Though we both lapse into silence after, as we finish our food, there's ease in it, in this, in the muffled sound of Luxborn filtering into the room. In the light streaming from her windows, and the faint draft occasionally drifting in, catching the loose tendrils of her hair. Oh, this is gay. In the way her voice falters when she tries to form words. And despite the horror looming over us, I find myself wishing for the minutes to slow, for seconds to last. But ultimately, she's the one who breaks it, softly after a minute's pause, in words mumbled under her breath. Sometimes silence simply compels us to speak.
I've been wondering, before last night, before Mama told me the news. What if Papa passes away, despite everything? That sort of thing. I know it's not good to think about, but I also knew it was getting worse. Mama won't say anything, but I've always known that one day, he'll eventually...
She releases a sigh as her grip on the bowl she still holds tightens. There are no tears, but she might as well have them with how weak her voice falls. Are there even any left?
I don't know what I'm going to do. Before, I can easily say it's because of Papa. Now, I don't have anything.
You have that scholarship from LuxU.
Were you going through my personal papers while I was sleeping last night?
I don't really have to. You left it sitting in the open, right there on the table.
Like there's still anything to hide, she snatches it away from where I've placed it back earlier. Except there's no anger or annoyance in her face when she looks at it and rereads every line with a pensive expression. After a short while, she folds it neatly along the creases and sets it back.
I don't even know if this will work out.
Well, if it doesn't, what about that exhibit you've been planning with Zach?
Do I even have to ask where you got that?
Zach sucks at lying. You have no idea how easy he is to read. It was all in his face when I asked about it. And anyway, if that doesn't pan out too...
I trail off, hesitating and measuring the weight of my next words. Genuine as they are, a part of me believes they're a burden, too heavy to impose upon her. Because no matter how much I want her to stay, we're not what ties her here. It'll be selfish to ask that of her. More than anything, her family will always come first. I say it, nevertheless, if only to let her know that no matter what her choice will be, there will always be people here whose lives her mere presence has changed. Mine most of all.
You... You have us.
The words startle her to a pause, and slowly she turns to me, her eyes wide, disbelief all over her face. But before regret forces an apology up my throat, her expression dissolves into something I can't quite place. Something distinctly softer, more tender, familiar, almost in the same manner she glanced at me years ago, that day at the bridge. However, I don't get the chance to figure out what it all means for her.
After leaving their friends an urgent message, Ashton returned to Isabella's apartment. He found the girl already up and about, cooking. Seeing his exhaustion, Isabella reminded him that he should take care of himself first and offered him food. With a muttered thanks, he accepted.
Before things can get awkward fast, I stand up to open the door while muttering some flimsy excuse in the process.
I'll get that. It's probably Zach or Rebecca.
Really, I know we're in a pinch, but their timing can't get any worse. Unrelated frustrations aside, once I fling the door open, a whole chunk of the stone that has been stuck at the pit of my stomach simultaneously unseats itself. There, in the hallway, stands Zach, his hand raised, ready for another knock. Although he's not at his most presentable at the moment, ruffled and drenched with sweat as he is, relief quickly washes over me like a tide. He's still panting when he pushes me aside and heads in. The second his feet crosses the threshold, he scans the place, eyeing what little he can see of the room from the doorway. When he finds none of whatever he's looking for, he turns to me with a questioning look, one that has a hint of panic in it.
You said it was urgent. Did anything happen? Is it Becca? Bella?
My God, calm down, Zach.
Everyone's fine.
Well,
Becca's not here. She went somewhere this morning and hasn't answered any of my calls yet. But Isabella's...
I'm here, Zach. Morning.
his weight shifts as at the same time the stiff line in his shoulder eases, once Isabella walks up to us and welcomes him with a smile. He relaxes then, returns her greeting in kind, as soon as he's let out a breath that he has been holding and the tension's finally off his body.
So, nothing's wrong? Why'd you call me here for then?
My explanation can wait. He has a lot of explaining to do. The fact that he went to Anselm alone, and for some godforsaken reason warrants a proper one. Ghost or not, he's already been given a warning. It frustrates me to no end. This might be the plan he mentioned the last time we spoke. I get that he's worried about Hannah Wright. Somehow they've become friends, but that's not the issue here. Not when there's a murderous ghost who might go after one of us at any given time. It's just Key may distract her with cup ramen, it's fine.
Oh no, my biggest weakness.
Sure, Zach made it here in one piece. By some dumb luck, he's alright. And this takes one off the list of people I need to worry about. Frankly, as annoyed as I am, I can't just stay angry at him when I look at the situation that way. Hell, if that call didn't connect in that exact minute, there might have been a chance he won't be standing here. This is a blessing in itself. Though first things first, some things still need to be discussed.
Let's
I'm
not
on bottom
insult-
one.
Yeah.
Same.
Obviously, Kime wants
Yeah.
to insult the cinnamon.
No, of course not.
Except when I open my mouth, the only thing that spills from it is my own relief.
Hey, we did it.
God, it's just going to be that much more devastating to all these characters when Ashton eventually dies.
Excuse you.
Listen, I don't doubt that we're going to get this idiot killed.
Somebody's dying, it's true. And this guy's the most, likely to die.
I mean, outside of failing some QTEs, for the most part, we've done a pretty piss poor job of killing anyone, so someone has to die.
Darn.
Despite myself, despite the rational part of my brain screaming everything wrong about Zach's neat little plan, we've had so many close calls within just a single night. Is Zach showing up on Isabella's doorstep, alive, whole, and unharmed? I might as well take comfort in that while I still can.
You're okay.
You did tell me not to do anything stupid.
And yet you did it anyway. Suddenly, the whole room feels too heavy, and all I'm able to do is drop down on the couch. A headache also threatens to burst in the same time. Or perhaps this is what release from anxiety feels like. Regardless, I reach up a hand to pinch the bridge of my nose, even if it'll likely do nothing to alleviate the impending pain.
Christ, you were right there! We have this stupid curse thing going on, and you were right there! You just walked up inside a private property! Those people can easily sue you for breaking and entering, and that's the least of it.
I know, Ash. But I can't just leave things as they are. I've got to do something.
He
I
is
know
a
you're not
perfect
very
cinnamon
fond of
roll.
the rights, but they don't deserve it if something bad happens. Hana most of all.
God damn it, Zach, I was worried.
Unexpectedly, he laughs. Not the half-hearted sort he makes when he's awkward or coming up with an excuse. A genuine one. Before my annoyance grows again, I snap at him, though he suddenly catches me in a headlock. His arms looping around my neck while he grinds his knuckle against my skull.
Aw, siblings.
Helpless, I squirm under his grip and protest. Even then, it's hard to do so when you're up against a 6-footer.
At least you're not getting used as an armrest.
Zach!
Which Marianne did to him.
That's true.
Aw, he's worried. Why didn't you say so? That cool act ain't gonna fool me anymore.
Oh, that's so adorable.
Aww. Little
Zach,
baby.
please.
Let go!
He relents, soon enough, though only after he's done ample damage in my hair. I hate it when he does that. But for a few moments there, the tense mood finally lightened up and everything felt like how it used to before this whole mess began. Makes appreciating little moments like these easier. Still,
Seriously, Zach. Why are you even there?
Told you already. I was looking for you.
Why would I even go there?
Well, you mentioned a plan with Isabella here. I assume that's where you guys went, since that's where she found the letter. Sorry. I was really at a dead end.
the logic in it stuns me into silence, to say the least. Then, I remember his hesitance, the tone he has taken on before agreeing to go here, and all at once my anger from what he's done wanes. Partly, this is my fault for keeping things vague. I can't berate him for assuming that, when I've only left him with vague answers.
You could have called me.
I did.
I
Oh.
didn't receive any, and my phone was with me.
You're kidding, right? I was at it the whole night.
The whole atmosphere
yeah,
in
he
the room
was.
changes in 2 heartbeats.
What did you say, Buttons?
I said, oh yeah, he was. I forgot about that part in Zach's chapter where he's constantly trying to get a hold of Ashton, and now it makes sense because they were in Briar Realty with the creepy ghost lady. So yeah, they wouldn't have gotten any phone calls.
Mhm.
Especially if he was trying to call while Ashton was calling Bella.
No. The previous night.
No, I know, but, like, remember how they were sitting, like, he was sitting in the security room and he was trying to get a hold of Isabella to tell her to leave because the ghost lady was right behind her?
Oh, right. Okay.
Yeah. So it's not like his phone wasn't working. It may have been that he was actively on the phone with Isabella at the time that Zach was trying to call. Or alternatively, he just, like, his phone was on silence and he didn't check for calls.
Mm-hmm.
But we'll find out soon enough. Back again to the tension-riddled one plaguing us. Zachary stares at me like I've grown another head. Then gradually he shifts his attention to Isabella. The expression in his eyes, questioning, asking for a confirmation. Like my word can't be trusted. Not that I'm holding it against him. I can't even believe the things coming out of my mouth these past few hours. Meanwhile, Isabella stays quiet. Has been like that for quite some time. She looks like she wants to disappear right now. Guilt, frustration, anger, fear, all flashes fleeting across. All of it flashes. That sentence doesn't make any sense. All of it flashes fleetingly across her face before it melts away under the expression of worry.
Please tell me he's joking. You were there?
No, we really didn't get any. Everything was quiet last night. But Zach, at BRC, Ashton and I saw...
The ghost.
She never gets to finish that.
Sup, I'm Ash from Deluxe.
Oh.
Baggers, watch out. Can't beat me. Looking for trouble? Better not lie. I'm a cool dude. Pretty fly for an Asian guy. Sup, I'm Ash
Abruptly, my phone rings again, blaring its badly sang ringtone throughout the whole room.
I'm a cool dude. Pretty fly for an Asian guy. Sup, I'm
Both of
Ash
them
from
pauses,
Deluxe.
waiting
Baggers, watch out.
waiting
Can't
when I
beat me.
pull it up to
Looking
check
for
the caller
trouble?
ID.
Better not lie. I'm a cool
It's Becca.
dude. Pretty fly for an
I'll tell her to
Asian
get
guy.
here as soon as she can.
Sup, I'm
Excuse me.
Ash from Deluxe
Please
City.
just answer the
Baggers,
fucking
watch
phone,
out.
Ashton.
Looking for trouble? Better not lie.
I actually had to take my headphones out, so I had no idea what I was reading at that time.
Oh.
I'm gonna have to do it again. Hold on.
She does.
Without another word, I slip out of the room and answer the call. However,
Yeah, it's silence.
Oh, thank God. Fuck that fucking ringtone.
People demanded it be put on the OST.
Are you shitting me?
No.
Oh.
Why is people like this?
Oh,
Actually. A terrified Zachary went looking for Ashton in the Ermengarde mansion, but to no avail. He also tried to warn Luke Wright about the spirit supposedly living in his house. Did he?
what?
I
Yeah,
don't
he-
remember that.
Yeah, he did. Like, he knocked first, and Luke answered, but of course Luke would be
Oh,
like,
that's
"Get
right,
the
because
fuck
Luke
out
was
of
a total dickbag.
here."
All right,
Oh, that's right.
but was simply turned away. As he was about to give up, he received an urgent call from Ashton, ordering him to head straight for Salem Well residences. This line was not read yet.
Yeah. However, the tone she assumes isn't what I'm hoping to hear. Ragged, a bit out of breath. There's a tinge of urgency in it. Listening to her from my side of the line makes it seem like she's just run a marathon prior to this call.
Or been choked out, just saying.
Becca, where?
I got your message. What happened?
Nothing. Yet. Where are you?
Downtown. I had to make a quick visit to the library. Listen, Ash, about that thing Isabella has been talking about. There's something you guys need to...
Please tell me you didn't... Whatever. Save it for later. I'm at Salem Well. If you can get here as soon as possible, that'd be really great. This is related to that.
You're there? Is Isabella with you?
Yeah, Zach too.
With a quick press of the button, I switch on the loudspeakers and step back into Isabella's apartment. I hold out the phone towards the two, giving it 2 shakes, urging them to speak. Both are still carrying worried looks on their faces. This should ease that.
Rebecca's asking for you two.
Becca? Is she okay? Hey, Becca!
Hello, Rebecca. Odd morning we having, eh?
Hey, you two. What's happening over there? Is this something I should be worried about?
We'll tell you once you get here. Please, hurry.
I don't like the sound of that, Ash. But I'm on my way. Give me a few minutes. I'm driving.
She mumbles a goodbye, then hangs up. Becca's the last person I need to account for, yet that call left an even more strained tension in the room. Thankfully, we don't have to linger in it for too long. She only takes a matter of minutes to get here, and the second she steps into the room, Isabella clings to her.
I'm so glad you're okay. Ashton checked on you this morning, but... He did? I'm sorry. I was in a hurry. I didn't have time to drop by and let you know.
It doesn't matter. What's important is you're here.
Not burnt to a crisp or brutally murdered somewhere. Whole, alive. Although she seems a bit shaken, it doesn't really matter in the grand scheme of things. At least now, I can relax, ease the pressure off my shoulders, if only by some. But the minute Isabella pulls away from her, she winces. A small reaction. The younger woman doesn't even catch it. It sets a precedence for a careful observation nonetheless. A closer look at her reveals a much more disheveled than usual. Hair in a bit of a mess, probably flattened in a hurry. The back of her dress also shows stains of dirt in places it rarely gets into. She's also leaning more on using her left arm. She's right-handed. Perhaps the most telling is the slight limp she has, noticeable once Isabella leads her into the room. It all sprouts a hatful of questions. What exactly happened and how she ended up in that state? Pretty sure a simple trip to the library won't do that.
We have no idea.
I grab for her arm before she can walk past, carefully to avoid hurting her, in case there really is an injury. Seems like it at first glance, but you can't be sure until after a careful examination has been made. I suspect some bruising at least. Although minor internal fractures aren't out of the equation, they have a nasty way of staying hidden. Sure enough, Becca tenses immediately upon contact. Tries to pull back, although the sudden gesture only elicits another wince, forcing her and Isabella to halt. Both of them turn to me almost at the same time, their eyes searching mine for answers. Rebecca, for her part, doesn't appear quite pleased with the interruption, or the fact that someone has brought it to light.
And with that, we will end this episode right here. Thank you guys for joining us, and see you next time.
Bye-bye.
Bye!
Bye.
Go inside.
You guys want to know what's the funny thing about this? Since I didn't record that previous conversation, no one's gonna have any idea why we're talking about nipples so much. Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. Coco here, and I am once again joined by Stan, Shadow, and Moon, and we're continuing the first game, Phoenix Wright Ace Attorney.
Hopefully we can actually get through this case today.
The judge has just been sitting here staring at us in silence the whole time.
Sighing
Yes,
over and
Max.
over.
He's just
Very
waiting.
disappointed in us.
He's not mad, he's disappointed.
Disappointed.
Oh, that's the worst kind, though.
You seem much more relaxed, Mr. Wright. Good for you.
Does
Yeah, good
does
for
Phoenix
you.
actually know where he is? That's the question. Does he know where?
No, he doesn't.
Because I mean, you're asking them who got killed and who you're defending. Like, the
He didn't-
real questions here are: do you know your own name?